like Craig was saying, if your passing grade is 65, if you get a 64, is that a failing grade or what? Or is they gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna pass you because you won under"?
Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom. What we have here is mid-conversation where Ralph and I are discussing whether or not shooting below league average in the shooting percentage makes it bad or not. And Craig asked if a passing score is 65, if someone scores 64, does that mean that they pass? Now, during the show, they couldn't understand that I was telling him that he was comparing apples to oranges while using this analogy. But it was actually an analogy I understood, but it was just poorly executed. So what we will do now is go right on ahead and use passing grades and failing grades to show how good of a shooter LeBron James is for his career. A failing grade is a D. So that means if somebody gets a D on a test or any type of project, they have a failing grade. C, B, and A are all passing grades. Now, everyone knows a C grade is an average grade to get on any test or any project. So shooting league average in any percentages will be considered a C. Now, getting a C, you can score anywhere between 70 or 79, so there is a broad scale that allows you to see what a C is, and we're going to do that also with the percentages. So we'll start at the mid-range shooting, which is what the whole conversation was about, and the NBA's all-time shooting percentage from mid-range is around 39%. Let's go ahead and grade LeBron's shooting. LeBron James shoots 38% from mid-range from his career. Basically, this is a C-. LeBron James would have a passing grade when it comes to mid-range shooting. Compare that to Michael Jordan's 45% from mid-range, which they kept record of for 4 years of his career. Jordan basically has an A- or B+ in mid-range shooting. But if we compare that to Kevin Durant, who shoots 47% from mid-range for his career, you can see how great of a shooter Michael Jordan was at mid-range. Players like Dirk Nowitzki could shoot as high as 50%. So now, if we're going to talk about a bad or a failing grade when it comes to mid-range shooting, it would be someone like Westbrook, who shoots 36% from mid-range for his career. This is someone that you can say is a bad mid-range shooter. But people are still going to say LeBron James is a bad shooter. Okay, well, let's do this. If LeBron James shooting 38% from mid-range makes him a bad mid-range shooter, how come no one ever says T-Mac's a bad mid-range shooter? Or Dwayne Wade? Or Allen Iverson? I mean, Kobe Bryant shoots 42% from mid-range. So 38% is not only a passing grade, it's actually a decent percentage to shoot as an NBA player for your career. But there's other areas on the floor that people say LeBron James cannot shoot from and is a bad shooter from. So let's go ahead and grade those areas as well. Which leads us to three-point shooting. If we look at the league average since they allowed three-point shooting in 1980, the league average is 34% from the three-point range. If we grade LeBron James' three-point shooting percentage, we can see that LeBron James shooting around 34% is actually a passing grade as well, compared to Michael Jordan, who shoots just below average, as we stated before, but still would have an actual passing grade in three-point shooting percentage. But compare that to Larry Bird, who shoots around 38% from three-point land, which would be an actual good percentage. People like him and KD shoot around 38%. But if we look at Stephen Curry's three-point percentage, he shoots around 43% for his career, which is phenomenal. And players like Steve Kerr shoot like 50% for their career. So this grading system is actually coming into light, because if we look at someone like Giannis, we can see why Giannis is considered a bad three-point shooter. Now we'll move on to free throw shooting. Free throw shooting is another area where folks seem to think LeBron James is not good at. The NBA all-time average for free throw percentage is about 75%. So let's go right on ahead and grade LeBron James' free throw shooting. LeBron James shoots about 74% from the free throw line, which is a passing grade. But when compared to Michael Jordan, who shoots around 84%, we can see the difference. But compare that to what KD or Larry Bird shoots, as you can see, these guys are really great from the free throw line. Compare that to Stephen Curry, who's the standard of this, who shoots 91% from the free throw line. That is an all-time high for the NBA. But I can hear you saying already, how does this make LeBron James a good free throw shooter? There's no statistics that would say LeBron James is an actual good free throw shooter. What we stated is that he's an average free throw shooter. People like Dwayne Wade is also an average free throw shooter. We never hear Dwayne Wade being called a bad free throw shooter, or Scottie Pippen. These are people that shoot around LeBron James' averages. There's plenty of other players as well. If we're going to talk about bad free throw shooting, we're going to talk about people like Dwight Howard or Shaquille O'Neal. So this notion that LeBron James is a bad shooter is only made up because Michael Jordan fans would like to compare him to Michael Jordan and what Michael Jordan did great. And the reason that they do that is because, like we always said, they never like to mention the other things. We're going to show you why they only talk about mid-range and three-point shooting. Yes, Michael Jordan is a good free throw shooter and a mid-range shooter. He's average from three-point line. But what they don't want to talk about is from 0 to 3 feet, which is at the rim and finishing, whether with a dunk or a layup. This is what they do not want to talk about because this is where LeBron James completely surpasses Michael Jordan. LeBron James shoots a staggering 74% at the rim or from 3 feet from the rim. This is why Michael Jordan fans don't want to talk about anything else but mid-range and free throw shooting. Because Michael Jordan shoots around 60% at the rim for his career for the 4 years that they recorded this, which is below league average, which is around 62% for the league's history. But let's compare some other great guards around LeBron James' era that also had this recorded for their careers. Here we have Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant, T-Mac, and Allen Iverson's percentages at the rim. As you can see, these guys are all around average. Dwayne Wade is actually good, but you can see the difference between them and LeBron James. To find perimeter players that shoot as good as LeBron James, you have to go to Giannis and Kevin Durant. Shooting this percentage is so dominant that you would have to get people like Shaq and Dwight Howard to even compare to these type of players. But LeBron James is the only player that is knocked for actually having the ability to actually get the ball to the rim. Unlike big men, LeBron James actually has to pass multiple defenders before he can get the ball to the 3 feet or at the rim. And then he finishes like no one else does in NBA history. So when an MJ fan tries to pretend that a mid-range shot is worth more than 2 points compared to a layup or a dunk, they don't know what they're talking about. And when they try to dismiss his overall field goal percentage because of the way he can get to the rim and actually finish at the rim, it shows that they don't know how to talk basketball. LeBron James' two-pointer percentage is one of the greatest of all time, and if we compare them to the top 10 list, you'll see why. LeBron James' shooting percentage from two-pointers anywhere on the basketball court is one of the greatest of all time. If we compare them with the players that are most commonly put in the top 10 list, we will see that LeBron James' 55% from two-pointers is one of the greatest ever. The way LeBron James is able to get the ball in the basket at a high efficiency rate shows here. This is the top 10 list, or players that are mostly put in the top 10 list. And as you can see, only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Shaquille O'Neal are better than LeBron James when we're talking about two-point shooting percentages. LeBron James is not only a great scorer, he's also a good shooter. LeBron James hits 4 out of every 10 mid-range. He hits 7 out of every 10 free throws. That makes him a good player in shooting. He hits 3 out of every 10 three-pointers. LeBron James haters can say whatever they want, but the numbers show LeBron James is not a bad shooter of any kind. You have now been exposed.